The Phillies won a big series. That was a really big series that they won against the Baltimore Orioles. That's how you take care of business. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, it wasn't pretty by any means. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go. There we go. All right. I don't know why I had myself echo there because I forgot to turn that off. Okay. Well, now we're back live. Here we go. How you guys doing? My name is Jason Joseph. This, of course, is Play-by-Play with JJ. This is actually the Phillies post-series pod with JJ. I hope you're all having yourselves a great day. Again, apologize about the technical difficulties, but we're on here and we're making things work, and I cannot wait to listen to you guys on the phone. So I'm very excited. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm really just excited to have you guys on here. But before we get into any sort of the content or anything like that, I do want to remind you guys a couple of things. First of all, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, turn on those notification bell icons too, so that way you know when I upload. Okay, and besides that, also don't forget to make sure that you check out the Sharing the Mic with JJ podcast tomorrow. We'll have our brand new episode, and we'll be going on for our second episode. And yeah, I'm excited about that. So that'll be released at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Make sure that you stay tuned for that. It's our second episode. And yes, without further ado, let's talk about the Phils. I'm so proud of this team with the way that they handled the adversity that they dealt with. Okay, let's be honest with ourselves. The Baltimore Orioles gave Game 2 up. Okay, they shot themselves in the foot. Right? That's exactly what happened. Perez comes in, blows the save. Bryson Stott, man, this dude has guts. I love every single second of it. Harper's over at first base. You're down to your final out. Okay, Bryson Stott is a really good two-strike hitter, but if he's going to swing at the first pitch, it's going to be on a pitch that he knows that he can barrel one up. And he just put it down that right field line. Harper was hustling from first base to home plate, getting the crowd going, fist bumps everywhere. Oh, it was so awesome. It was so, so awesome. And I just lived for every single second of it. I was about ready to go nuts. I tried to keep my cool, my composure on here because we were even having some difficulties, with the new setup and everything. And that was a whole nother thing. But we got to see that on here live. We got to call it on here. That was really cool. Good for Alec Bohm. You get a walk-off base hit, and you come through. This is a guy that's been dealing with a whole lot this season, okay? I'm still not impressed about the power. I still believe that he needs to show more at the plate, but I know he's switching from first, going to third, and he's not settled at a position, and I do think that mentally speaking that does play a tone. But, man, I am so happy that this team was able to come through when it really mattered the most, and Baltimore's a pretty darn good team. They're beating up on the Tampa Bay Rays. They have a very nice young squad. And even though Felix Bautista, I don't know why he wasn't available, but Brandon Hyde didn't want to put him out there, I guess because they're using him too much and because they want to make sure that his arm is healthy for for going into the fall. I don't really know if that's necessarily, an excuse when he's not there for 2 nights in a row. But regardless, they have a good bullpen. They took advantage of it, and Bryson Stott had the swing of the season this year. That swing was huge. It was absolutely clutch. And I do think that changes the trajectory of this team in some ways. And hear me out. Because if Bryson Stott now is going to be this guy that continues to get hits, well, that's going to put less pressure on Trey Turner. That's going to put less pressure on Nick Castellanos, okay? They're in slumps right now, but it definitely does ease the tension a little bit. And it makes me just give so much more respect to this kid because he's only 25 years old and he's just getting base hits like it's nothing with 2 strikes. And he has pop in the bat. It's like unbelievable what this kid can do. I've said it a lot. I will say it again, though. He does remind me of Tyrese Maxey. Okay, he's a young guy. He wants the pressure when the pressure is on, right? You have a lot of guys in the lineup, that are veterans, and they're supposed to be these good hitters, but then this dude just gets overshadowed. And it's like, well, we're going through Castellanos, we're going through JT, we're going through Bryce Harper and Trey Turner and Schwarber, but we have to face this kid. His name is Bryson Stott. You know, like, you can't sleep on him. You can't. And you have to pitch to him. And he's making them pay. And I love that. I truly do. I believe that this kid has a lot of heart, and he's showing the team that, you know what, if the big guys can't step up, let me step up. Let me show them what I can do. Because I have balls of fire. And I love that. Okay. Ranger did okay. He was okay. He wasn't the best. I mean, this month of July, it's almost over. But hopefully he has a better August. I didn't think he pitched that bad. I didn't think he pitched great. I do have a lot of questions still about the offense, but they played really well in that Game 3, man. I can't deny that. I really can't. Besides the 3-run home run that Ranger gave up to Adley Rutschman, he looked all right. It didn't look like his Ranger old self, but I could live with the types of pitches that he was throwing out there. He just gave up one over the middle of the plate. Dude, Jake Cave is making this catch out in left field, and I'm listening back to my highlight call. I'm like, dude, I didn't even give that call justice. Like, this dude, Urias gets this hit, and it goes all the way towards the left field wall, and Jake Cave, out of all people, just slams into that wall, goes down on his back, and then just gets back up like it's nothing, and he's high-fiving Brandon Marsh. Bam! I love this city. Those are the types of players that I want on my team. Somebody that's just going to give their heart and soul out there every day. And I will tell you that I do believe that Rob Thompson is kind of hindering this team in a sense, because if you're just platooning guys like every single day, Brandon Marsh is not going to be facing left-handed pitching. We're just going to have him go up against righties. Well, you know what that does to them? That takes them out of their rhythm. Alec Boehm's going from first to third. Just, like, give him a position to play. I get that JT has to have a night off. I get that Trey Turner, who's been really struggling, he had to have a night off. I can buy those things. But when it's on a night in and on a night out basis, like Brandon Marsh is not playing against a lefty, and then he comes in to face off against righties, and then you have Edmundo Sosa going from third to short to second, just have some sort of consistency. And I do think that, in a way, that is throwing the players off, because there's no consistent lineup, or somewhat of like an 80% consistent lineup. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very happy with how this team has been playing over their last 2 to 3 games. But I do think that Rob has to press better buttons. I mean it. I truly do. What else did I want to get to before I get to you guys? Yeah, we can talk more about the trade deadline. I'm going to say this right now. Go get a left fielder. Okay. Bryce Harper, he'll have to be your first baseman. Okay. I want him playing first base. He gives his heart and soul out there. He's ready. He's starting to hit the ball really well now. He's ready. Put him over at first. Go get a left fielder. Go get somebody that can play every day, and then have Christian Pache and Johan Rojas there as depth. Okay? If Rob does want to platoon Brandon Marsh, fine. I'm not for it, but you can have potentially like a Johan Rojas and a Brandon Marsh playing out in center field, and then if you get like a Juan Soto out in left field, I can get behind that. I'd be more okay with that, because I was talking about this earlier with Darth. If they get a first baseman right now, they need a bat. There's no doubt about it that they need a bat right now. But if you get a first baseman, well, okay, I understand that we're focusing on this season, and Rhys Hoskins probably won't be back this season. But there is something to be said about going after a first baseman now, giving up future assets, and then what if Rhys Hoskins walks and you still have that first baseman? I don't feel comfortable with Rhys Hoskins walking on a prove-it type of a contract. I would want Rhys Hoskins to come back, and then if we're having problems with first baseman, If they get somebody like Paul Goldschmidt and he's on the last year of his deal, well, then you're going to have to try to find another trade to get somebody else for him. The bats are great, but we have to have some sort of defense. We can't just put Paul Goldschmidt over at third base. That's not going to work. And then pitching is a whole nother thing. I think that they can go after a left fielder and they can go after a pitcher. A lot of eyes are going to be on Dombrowski, and I would like to see them try to go for, a top pitcher. And I know it's easier said than done, but if they have to give up the farm for a good pitcher, then that's what you got to do, because pitching is what wins in this league. But the number one priority right now is they need another bat in that lineup. Give this team more depth offensively and then go after a starter. Christopher Sanchez has saved this team. Andrew Painter is out for the season. They're having some injuries in the starting rotation. But Christopher Sanchez, man, every time he goes out there, he's like, I want the ball. I'm going to be better. And he had 9 strikeouts in 7 innings. That was really awesome. And those are the types of people that I want on my team. I want somebody like a Ranger Suarez, a Matt Strahm, where they're like, okay, if I'm not having my stuff tonight, put me in for the 6th inning, put me in for the 7th inning. I'll go 5 innings for you, coach. Those are the types of people that I want on my team. And I would be very happy if they went after another one of those starting pitchers that can step up and pick up Aaron Nola's slack, because we have those guys that are competitors. So that's what, that's where my mind is right now. A lot's going to have to happen during the trade deadline. But when you look at this team right now, and we just assess the overall series against the Baltimore Orioles, it did not start out pretty whatsoever. It got very ugly in the very beginning. You were leaving runners on base, going back to your true colors. Kyle Schwarber's making, it wasn't really all his fault. Brandon Marsh should have been out there in left field, and I am going to stand by that in that 9th inning. Kyle, man, he gave it his all when he was diving for that ball, and it just got by him. That wasn't all his fault. But then in the bottom of the 9th, I'm going to say this again. I am going to say this again. If you have runners over at 1st and 3rd, you really have to try to capitalize on those moments too. And then Harper's like rounding third base. It was a really good throw. I still don't think he should have went, but I understand what he was trying to do. You can't get yourself out of these games. And the Phillies shot themselves in the foot in the first game. And then the O's shot themselves in the foot for the second game. And then the Phillies took that and had that as momentum, and it fueled into something that was going to mold and gel. And now this team is ready to take off again. And I'm so excited about that. And now you're going into Pittsburgh, and you have to think to yourself, we got to keep that foot on the gas pedal. Yes, Pittsburgh has a young team. Yeah, they have some nice guys coming up, but we got to show them what we're made of, because we're not joking now. Okay, we still want to go after the division, even though it's going to be a long shot right now. But we have a big chance to do something special here again this year. And that has to be the mindset going into the rest of the season, whether they go for Shohei Ohtani, whether they keep the lineup as is, and they have the same guys that are out there every day. They have a good team. And when they put it all together, they can beat anybody in the league. The problem is that they're just so streaky, and you don't know if you're going to get a great Aaron Nola or not one day. You don't know if you're going to get a dominant Zach Wheeler one day. You don't know if Kyle Schwarber is going to be a really good leadoff hitter or not. You don't know if Castellanos is going to be cold or if he's going to be red hot. So there's a lot of question marks, but we just have to wait and see what happens. We have to take it series by series, but this team did prove something to me in this last series, and that is that they are so relentless. And when they're on a losing streak, they can snap out of it, and they have to play every single out and every single pitch like it is. So I'm totally with you guys on all that sort of stuff. Yeah, man. Pitching needs a real ace. That's for sure. I agree with that. I want to get to your phone calls, but I do want to display your comments here like really quickly. What's going on, Leo? What's going on, guys? How are y'all doing? Icy Buckets is right here. I wish Painter could pitch too. All right. Icy Buckets, let's get you on the phones, man. You've been waiting very patiently. I want to go to you guys. We've been on here for 15 minutes. We're going to keep this kind of short tonight, but that's how I'm feeling right now. And yeah, let's get some people on the phones here. What's up, Icy Buckets? You're on the Phillies post-series pod with JJ. How you doing, man? Oh, your mic's muted. Your mic is muted, my guy. There we go.
You hear me?
I can hear you, man. How you doing?
No, what's good?
Oh, everything's going great, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
That's awesome, man. How ecstatic were you when Bryson Stott had that big RBI double in that 9th inning 2 nights ago?
That was insane.
It was.
I was jumping up and down on my couch when that happened.
Oh, me too, man. I mean, I wasn't jumping up and down like in my seat, but I was mentally just running around and screaming, and I was so happy, man. And Alec Bohm with that walk-off hit.
Yeah, bro.
Oh,
that was crazy.
That was so crazy. That was awesome. I was so proud. What was something that really, or that you really enjoyed from the series overall? You know,
Cave game 3 was really good. I did not expect him to get 2 hits.
Oh, that was awesome. And then the catch that he made out in left field. Did you see that?
Bro, that was insane.
That was crazy, man.
That was insane.
It really was. My blood pressure was going up, man. I was so happy. I couldn't believe that he hung on to that. That was so cool. Oh, man.
I thought they were going to tie the game.
Me too.
After that.
Oh, me too. And I thought Ranger was going to give up a run, man. I really did.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I called that he would give up the 3-run home run.
Yeah.
I was like, watch Ranger pitch this. He's going to give up a 3-run homer.
Yep. And Adley Rushman, man. Adley Rushman's a really good ball player. And when it's a full count and you give him a fastball, that's just what he does. But man, like I didn't even talk about this, but they were down 3-0 and they still won.
No, we have to come back from every single game, I swear.
I know. But hey, as long as they win, man, as long as they win, that's what feels so good.
Yeah.
Dude, thanks.
I was so mad when they got shut out, though.
Oh, I was really mad about that, too. I can't blame you for that. That was so disappointing when that happened on Saturday against the Guardians. But do you think that this team can try to do something in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, I really do.
Me too, man. I'm excited. And they're going to be going up against Andrew McCutchen, and I think that will be so cool just to see him go up against his former team,
Oh,
yeah.
I thought he was on the Brewers.
No, he's on Pittsburgh. He's on Pittsburgh. He's back on Pittsburgh, man. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I know. Dude, are you going to come back on for our next Phillies post-series pod?
Yes, sir.
Yes, let's go, man. Icy Buckets, you're the man.
Thank you.
Of course, man. Yes, of course. Oh, man. I always love it when he comes on here, man. Brings a lot of energy. He gets me fired up at times. Like, it's always so cool just to listen to Icy Buckets come on here. I saw we had somebody else here in the audience. I wanted to try to see if I can get them on, but they just left. So let's go through the chat, though. Let's see who else is over here. I prefer Ohtani. Pay for the 600. Yeah, dude, I'm totally with you. Okay, I've always said, and I said this during the last Phillies post-series pod, there's no such thing as a Shohei Ohtani type of a player. Okay, they don't grow on trees. If you just get him for half a season, even if he doesn't sign for like a max deal, of course, would you be upset about that? Yes, but you have to get him to come to Philly. You have to bring him in because you know why? You don't build those things from the ground up. Shohei Ohtani, he's getting comparisons to Babe Ruth. That's the type of caliber player that he is right now. He's in the prime of his career, And where the Sixers screwed up is that Joel Embiid, he's in the prime of his career, but he needs those surrounding pieces. The Phillies, they have Bryce Harper, but they need another cornerstone type of a piece, and Shohei Ohtani would solve a lot of problems because he can pitch so well. That makes the rotation really, really good. And because he hits so well. Well, if Kyle Schwarber's in a funk, Nick Castellanos is in a funk, Bryce Harper is slumping, here's a guy that can just give you a lot of runs offensively that's leading almost every single statistical category. I want that player. I don't want to bank on a guy that's going to come up in 5 years that could potentially be a bust. You know, I don't know what Andrew Painter is going to be. I have a lot of high expectations, but would I rather take Shohei Ohtani during the prime of his career right now to just win a championship, just to win a World Series, rather than just wait on somebody else in 5 years? No, I would not want to do that. So that's where my mind is with Shohei Ohtani, and I really would love it if somehow they can get him to come here. And whatever they're going to have to give up, they're going to have to give up. That's just how it goes. If you're going to have to give up Mick Abel, and if you're going to have to give up some other guys in the farm system along with an Alec Bohm, even if it's for a Bryson Stott, and I would hate to do this, even if it was for Bryson Stott, you have to do it. Because Shohei Ohtani is so much more valuable right now than Bryson Stott. It's just how you have to do it, man. That's how you go about business. And if Shohei doesn't re-sign with you, okay. You know what? You tried. You went all in for it, and you tried. And that's how I feel about the whole thing. Dark Boo says, I think we can throw Kingery in there for free. That's funny, man. Caleb says, hey, JJ, are you going to make a 1,000 subs video when you hit 1,000? Oh, yeah, man. Of course. That's going to be really awesome. But we have to work there first, and we got to embrace the grind while we're doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't just happen overnight. You know, we got to just take everything day by day. So, but like when we're looking into the future, of course, I'm going to make a 1,000 sub video, and I'm going to say thank you to everybody on here, including Darth Poo and including Rising Rhino and Jiva Newts and all you guys that have just been coming on here. Icy Buckets, man, Leo, Caleb, man, all of you guys. Of course, I'm going to be doing that. But no, I wanted to kind of keep this a little bit short and sweet and just say, you know what? I'm happy that the Phillies won this series, and that's how you take care of business. And I couldn't be more proud of this team. And now what they have to do is they have to carry this momentum when they're going into Pittsburgh, and they got to try to at least take 2 of 3 in Pittsburgh. That's what has to happen. All right? Win these games. That's all I care about. Win the games and just take care of business. That's in front of you. Now, don't worry about the Braves. Don't worry about the other wild card teams, because you know what? They could be struggling too, but if you're taking care of your own business, that's what matters at the end of the day. All right? So that's all I got to say. If you guys want to come on here in the future, don't forget to join the Discord server down below. I know that the invite link is, I think it isn't. I think I have to update that, and I will do that. I'm going to work on that after this game, or after this cast is done, excuse me. But I will definitely do that. I love this new setup, man. I think it's so awesome. And I got to give everybody that helped me do this a big shout out, including Darth Poo, man. I know that some people don't like taking credit, but I have to acknowledge all of you guys, because I'm honest, man. Like, I don't leave anybody out. I really don't. And I thank you so much. So, all right, guys, that's going to wrap things up here. We're going to be on tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. Okay, 2 o'clock on the dot. We're getting somebody to come on here. Actually, I'll tell you who it is. It's Pat Stats, okay? Pat Stats is going to come on play-by-play with JJ, and we're going to talk about the Patriots, because it's been a while since I've done that, and I wanted to kind of wait to just get a guest to come on and just have a conversation with them, because I thought that that would be a really good way to just get into football mode, you know? And we're going to be doing that, and I'm really looking forward to it. And Pat Stats is going to come on here, and we're going to talk up shop with the Patriots and just about, you know, like where they are in regards to summer, you know, the summer camp and all that sort of stuff. So that's going to be very, very exciting. And I'm looking forward to that, man. I'm really, really looking forward to all this sort of stuff. Icy Bucket says me. Yeah, man, for sure. Well, what's up, Alex? Thanks for coming on here. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. And also, don't forget, okay, we got our Sharing the Mic with JJ podcast coming on at 5 o'clock tomorrow. And that'll be really cool. And then after that's done, then we got the game at 7 o'clock. So a lot of content coming up on here. I want to make sure that I continue to do a lot for you guys because you guys deserve to have a lot of content that I continue to put out every day. And I just want to give you guys some really good stuff. And I don't want to fool you with anything. So that's how I am. And that's how this will continue to be. All right. I love you guys so much. I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace out.